Don't you look pretty?
Now,
I'm going to put this on, not because anything's going to happen, just in case. And you know, I have a good friend that the food today was supplied by Savor Hospitality. Anybody know who Savor is?
Yay.
The best caterer maybe in the region. Wonderful, wonderful friend of mine. A couple own it. That would be Todd and Heather Moore. And if you ever want to see them or see Todd cooking, he's a wonderful chef. He's online. Every single day I get a little email from him showing me a different way to cook. So just to, because he does, I will. What do you think? Is this what Todd looks like in his videos? Sorry, Todd.
Oh, but, hey, I didn't sign a release.
But you volunteered. The other thing is, nothing's going to happen, but I'm going to put this stuff out there. Okay? All right? So let's talk about, let's just think for a moment, about prospecting, okay? So if we were going to bake a cake this morning, if we're going to bake a cake, I'm not meaning to block your view. No, that's fine. And you're going to bake a cake. Anybody know an ingredient we need in a cake?
Eggs.
Eggs, flour, okay? So I would think probably the starting ingredient would be flour. All right? Want some flour? We're gonna.
Yeah, I got some.
That's why you're there. Probably we're gonna put it in this bowl. What do you think?
I think that's a great idea.
Now, do you know your recipe for prospecting?
Do I know? Yes.
Yeah.
I need 2 cups of flour.
You do. How do you know that?
Because I baked a cake before.
Okay. All right. That's pretty good. Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's see. Now, are you sure it's 2 cups of flour? Because do you even know what your recipe is?
I'm making upside down cake.
Oh, well, this is the recipe for prospecting. But we're not really sure what your recipe would be, so we don't know whether it's 2 cups, right? Or whether, since we're not sure, tell you what, this is cold calling. This is our cold calling. Well, we're not sure, right? So some companies do nothing but cold calling. That's their only way to prospect. Now, could you have a cake with this?
That does not look tasty.
That does not look tasty? No. So you have to have something else. If all you're doing is prospecting, the only way you're prospecting is with flour, that's your cold calling. What do you have?
Dust.
Dust. But there was something else. Somebody else said we might need some eggs. I heard that yelled out, right? Eggs. So if this is drop-ins, these are drop-ins.
Okay.
But you know how many we need?
As many as it takes.
Well, how many is that? How many drop-ins? How many can I do? What should I do?
Well,
I'm already cold calling. I'm gonna start dropping in.
You can't bake a cake without breaking a few eggs. So.
I've heard that. So should we put like 1 in?
Oh no, we got to keep going.
Okay, but since they are drop-ins.
Okay, yeah, lots more.
How many?
Bring it on.
How many?
Oh, you know, you got a dozen, and I'm using them all.
Now,
I could use the eggs.
this will be up here. This will be up here. This will be up here waiting for
Are
you.
we crediting Tim with this recipe? Because he wouldn't be happy. This is not a good referral for him.
Todd, this is your recipe, buddy. Come on. We're going to make you a cake. So here you go. So now we're doing these 2, but do we have the right ingredients? We don't know. But we know we need something else to make this work, right? What else would you need to make a cake?
Vanilla and butter.
Oh, that's
Well, that's right. I like mine a little sweet. So for us, I think networking is a sweet way to prospect, right? You know how much you need.
well, too much, and you give people.
That's true.
coma,
Well, that's
so-
true. That's true. So if you're thinking about networking, and we talked, you could go probably 5 or 6 times, 5 or 6 things a day. That means you're going about 20 to 25 to 30 events a week. Is that good?
Make you very tired.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Don't know. What's your recipe? Do you do a lot or a little? Should you use a little?
More. Maybe a little more.
All right. We don't know. Nothing like sugar. All right. So now we've got 3 ways to prospect. And that's looking pretty good, right? It's binding really nicely. We've got a lot of activity. Right? Right? So what else do we have? You got to have something to pull together, right? So now we're doing what?
Referrals.
Ah, that's mother's milk, isn't it? Right there. Referrals, right? But how much? How do we get them?
Well,
Should we press people? Should we say, hey, I need a referral from every customer? Should you go out and ask them all? Every customer I have has to give me a referral. Everybody meet you, give me a
That
referral.
wouldn't be good.
Yeah, but see, and you got to be careful with the milk because there's a hole in this bowl. I set it too close to the thing. I was making pancakes one day, and it burned the whole way. That's a little cooking tip, no charge. Don't put your plastic bowl too close to your griddle when it's hot.
Well, not every customer is going to give you the kind of reference you want anyway.
That's right. So here you are. Now, what's better than that? A strategic alliance. What would that be? Probably the salt of the earth, right? But how much salt? A little dash? Or do you try to set up a strategic alliance with everybody you know? It sounds good.
Too much salt can ruin the cake.
How much do you put in? A little bit?
Yeah.
Enough?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Oh, I don't know. Strategic alliances are powerful, right? So what else? Something to hold it all together. Those existing customers. That's a good way to prospect, right? How much?
Well, they can be very fattening, so. That works.
A little more. Okay, so now that we've got this recipe, there are some things that are unique about you, all right? Things that you do special.
Absolutely. Spice
The spice
of life.
of life. You have things that you do that you actually, maybe you have, what are some of the interests you have?
Personally, I scuba dive.
Me too.
I know I read that on you, so
I'm a
am I.
See, together, look, we just found, that's the spice life. We found things together that are unique to us.
I'm leaving tomorrow.
Oh,
To scuba dive.
where you going?
Devil's Den and Crystal Lake.
Oh, I don't get to go.
Swim with the manatees.
That's cool. I love scuba diving. And there's other things. You do anything else in your personal life?
Dance.
I don't dance. Or if I do, no, I'm a really good dancer after about 3 beers.
That's the best kind of thing.
My wife doesn't think I am, but I am a great dancer after 3 beers. I
We have
should
the
pull
camera.
better, and I'm you don't
All
want
right.
to handle that.
I support the Roller Girls.
Okay, so there are things that we can personally. So this is vanilla.
Something stronger.
Oh, you wanted some rum.
Whoa, yeah.
A rum cake.
Rum cake.
That would be good too. Now, we have all the ingredients, every ingredient that you would need for prospecting. Would you eat this?
No. You need to mix it real
If you
well.
give me business, I will.
Okay.
Well, here's the
That's
problem.
fair.
Here's the problem with prospecting. Even though you know all the things you should do, if you don't have your own individual company recipe, your own individual personal recipe for what you do best, it's just a bunch of ingredients. If you don't have them measured out correctly for your company and for yourself, all you've got is ways to do things. It's not a prospecting plan. You need to sit down and think about what's the plan overall for us. Who is our target? What's the best way to get to them? What's the best way to prospect? And then bring in all these special ingredients that make you unique and different and add them to it. Because then you've got something special. If you do it right, what you find out, if you do it just right, you come up with something really neat. Like a chocolate cake. This is actually a double fudge chocolate.
Awesome.
Somebody had the right ingredients for this, right? Not here. If you do your personal recipe for prospecting, you'll have this too. That's your gift.
Aw, thanks.